What's up, guys? It's Jason Cassity with Compass, and I'm here with my overdue recap of Inman Connect 2019. It's August 5th, so I'm about 10 days back from the conference. Had to work a little bit last week, so I couldn't sit down and really recap my thoughts. So this is a special audio-only version of the podcast. I'm just going to cover 4 or 5 things that really stuck out to me as kind of like macro overview things that were talked about a lot at the Inman Connect conference. So first and foremost, I think, if you haven't been to an Inman conference, it would be great to get out there and go check it out. You get to see a lot of the CEOs of the different companies. They come on during the morning sessions and they talk about, the 30,000 foot macro overview of what their company is trying to do and how they position in the market. But it's really, really cool to listen to them, interview with Brad or the moderators talking about, like the CEO of Zillow and Redfin were there and talking about what their companies are doing and the pivots that they're making and the changes that are coming down the pipe. So it's a really cool conference. Obviously, then the afternoons, what they do is they do breakout sessions where you get to, hear about social media trends or marketing trends or things like that. They have different tracks that you can go listen in on that are more like 10 and 15 minute snippets where you get, nuggets that you can take back and implement in your business. So you get a good mix of, the high level overview stuff and then the micro type of stuff that you can take away and work with for your business. So I think the overwhelming theme of the entire conference is, talking about how we shouldn't necessarily be scared of the disruptors that are coming down the pipe. I think especially, with the term iBuyers, so to speak, a lot of people are really concerned about where the business is going. Although to be fair, I've been going to Inman Connect since 2016 and I've been taking in their content since 2013. And there's always talk of something coming, right? Some disruptor, things changing and all that type of stuff. Obviously things are changing in the sense of technology is changing the way that we do our job and different things that we do for our clients, but that doesn't necessarily mean the sky is falling for the industry as a whole. I think more than anything, it just means that agents that suck at what they do and can't prove their value aside from, showing houses and opening doors, they're going to have a harder time, as the menial kind of tedious stuff gets digitized out by new technology. But if that's the only value that you're bringing, you should just quit now because you're going to get phased out no matter what, right? So anyways, I started with iBuyers because it got brought up the most, I think. So for those who aren't super aware what iBuyers are, what I mean by that, iBuyers are the Open Doors and Zillow instant offers of the world, right? So there's actually portals out there right now, including Redfin now. I missed that one, but you can go to Open Door and you can put your address in and you'll get an offer for your house within 3 days. And it's a cash offer, 7 to 10 days close, the money will be in your account. And those are called iBuyers. And so basically you can just go on, enter your address, get an offer. Zillow has the same feature. It's called Zillow Instant Offers. You can do the same thing with Zillow Instant Offers. And then you can also do Redfin Now. So it's the same thing. There's 3 big players. They're not in every market, but they're expanding rapidly and they're getting a ton of money behind them in order to fund them, right? So they're important things to know about. Why wouldn't everybody do that? Well, what these companies do when they write the offer is they write the offer they say at market value. It's probably more so a little bit below market value. And then they also tack on fees. So they have 10 to 12% fees to do the process this way. So now, if you're a seller and your house is worth $300,000 and you go do Zillow Instant Offers, you may get an offer for like $265 or $270 or something like that. Or it might even be, $285 or $290, but then you have a 10% fee on the back end. And so you're actually going to end up selling for way less than market value. And what those companies, Open Door and Zillow, are going to do is flip the home, right? So they're going to put, new carpet, new paint, stuff like that, and put it back on the market and sell it for a higher dollar amount. And thereby, in essence, taking away a commission from a real estate agent who would sell that. So I could see why some real estate agents might say, hey, they're coming for our positions or our jobs or whatever, but it's not necessarily the case because it's going to be what I got from the conference was, as this beta test grows, it's a very small subset of people that actually take the offer, right? Very small. In fact, I think it was Glenn Kelman, the CEO of Redfin, who said that he doesn't see direct buying or direct selling like this going anywhere above, maybe 5 to 10% of the entire market nationwide, because it is such a low way. It's so much lower than the average market. So why would you do that? Why would anybody do that? I see a reason why some niche buyers, or sorry, sellers would do that. Say I'm living here in San Diego, maybe I inherit a house in Miami, and I, I don't know anybody in Miami. I'm not going to go put it on the market, research out realtors, and wait 60 days, 90 days for it to sell, maybe longer. I'm not going to go get the house ready. I'm not going to do any repairs, any of that type of stuff. So maybe it makes sense to take 10% off the top and just get cash in my account in 7 days. So like there are reasons to do it. Not, maybe not for everybody, but there's going to be a small subset of people that do it. But I wouldn't necessarily, if you're scared about technology phasing you out in that way, you're probably already going to get phased out no matter what. Like this isn't going to impact the best of the best realtors. In fact, I think a lot of good agents can kind of hit this head on. I'm thinking of myself here. I field 3 or 4 calls every week of, some investor telling me that they're a cash buyer and they'll close within 7 days. Like I theoretically could beat this and, come out with my own iBuying service, the Cassity team iBuyer, where someone comes in and puts in their address and I can get them an offer within 72 hours at 10% below market value and just give it to one of my investors, right? I mean, why can't you just do the same thing? Now, obviously Zillow and Opendoor and Redfin have more width, but if I can offer that same service, and then they'll still get me holding their hand along the way, like why wouldn't they, at least my sphere clients do that, right? So anyways, on a macro level, it is coming, it's expanding in multiple areas and stuff like that, but I wouldn't necessarily be concerned about it as impacting, the way that you do business, unless you're maybe just like a straight wholesaler that, the old WeBuyUglyHomes.com guys that wholesaled, people would sell their house to them and then they would wholesale them out. I can see that part of the market getting crunched a little bit, but then they also talked to Veronica Figueroa, I'm saying that wrong, but she's actually, I know her from my sphere. She's actually a curator client of ours. She was with Remax. I think she switched to EXP. But she is the Zillow Instant Offers agent for, I want to say Naples, somewhere in Florida. And so what she's finding, and I thought was super interesting, is that a lot of people are going into Zillow to get an instant offer, but then what they're doing is they're just using that as a baseline for what they could sell their home for. Because one of the things that Zillow does is when they provide the instant offer, they also provide a CMA from a Zillow Premier agent. So Zillow is actually the only one that's actually keeping the agent in the process. Opendoor cuts out the agent, but Zillow is actually keeping the agent in the process by providing a CMA at market value alongside of the instant offer. So what she's finding is that she's getting a lot more listings by being the Zillow instant agent there, because people are just utilizing the instant offer service to get, a baseline on their home, but they're not actually using it to sell their home. So I thought that was super interesting. If Zillow's coming to a market near you, I would try to jump all over it and try to get in as one of those Zillow instant offers, because that's a very good seller lead. It's someone who's looked into the potential of selling and wants to see what their house is worth, and it's worth being that person. So secondarily, I thought there was a lot of talk about Compass. Obviously, that's the company I work for, so I'm not going to homer this out, but I think a lot of people are scared of Compass because Compass has $4 billion or $6 billion valuation, raised over $1 billion, almost $1.5 billion in funding. And obviously they're buying up agent share across the country, right? So I think a lot of people don't like that they're doing that, but I guess I can't blame them. If I was in that same position, then somebody was coming and poaching clients away by offering them more money. That would suck. But at the same time, I think people are worried that maybe there was something more nefarious there, and it's not. I mean, it's just basically another, version 2.0 of a brokerage with a tech end on the background. I can share a little bit of the insights because I'm here, but we have, a start to finish tech platform in the back that's really helpful to the agents and ultimately will become very helpful to the clients once they integrate, their ancillary services and stuff like that. So, but it's not anything nefarious. They're not trying to put agents out of business or anything like that. I think a lot of people just don't know what Compass is. And so there's a lot of question marks around that. A lot of different people kept bringing Compass up and how to defend against Compass and stuff like that. I think Robert So Robert Refkin was there on Thursday morning to talk, and then a couple people later was the Realogy CEO Ryan Gorman, and he was talking. They brought up the lawsuit. So Realogy is suing Compass for unethical business practices and some other stuff. I think at the end of the day, what the moderator brought up and what everybody sees is that Robert didn't do anything illegal. There's nothing, poaching people away by offering signing bonuses and stuff like that. There's nothing illegal about that. It's just a little bit aggressive. But if you've got if you've got a competitive advantage, like $1 billion in capital, it's your job to exploit that. So I don't necessarily see anything illegal about that. I think the moderator brought that up too. So I think the lawsuit is a little bit unfunded, but we'll see what happens with that. The third big topic was Realogy and their partnership with Amazon. I feel like every panel someone brought that up. More than anything, I think it's Amazon's first jump into the real estate game, which has been kind of like a a cry for me for the last couple of years. I've been saying like, hey, you guys are so worried about Zillow, but what happens when Amazon gets into the game? Because they're a bazillion-dollar company, and they could buy Redfin in a second. It wouldn't even put a dent into their bottom line. And then they could actually start selling homes for no commission and just start selling the ancillary stuff, couches, paintings, stuff like that. And that would be a bigger threat to us real estate agents as a whole, more so than Zillow or Open Door or anything like that. So I think what was announced during the Inman conference was that Amazon and Realogy are partnering. What Amazon is going to do is offer $5,000 credits to people who use their turnkey service. And part of that turnkey service is they get referred to a Realogy agent, which is the family of brands like Coldwell Banker and Sotheby's and Century 21 and stuff like that. So if you use turnkey and use one of their agents, you'll get a $5,000 credit back at closing for Amazon services. So it's more like a partnership. They're not taking on the agent role yet. I think if you're looking into the conspiracy theory, ulterior motive side of things, I think you might want to look under this rock a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon continues to grow, eventually, moves in and either buys a brokerage and just sees how profitable this is, or makes an actual real long-term partnership with Realogy, more so than just offering a credit, maybe to offer, referral fees or something. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this escalate. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of Realogy people thought it was cool because it was their brand. I'm actually more interested to see because I think it came down that the leads aren't actually going to go to Century 21 and Coldwell Banker agents. They're going to go to Cartus, which is the relocation company that Realogy owns, and then Cartus is going to pass them down to their Century 21 and Sotheby's partners at a 40% referral fee like they have been beforehand. So I'd be super interested to see that, if it was just like, okay, I can get a referral or a lead for 40% referral fee, that's hefty, but I'll do it because it wasn't my client anyways. But what I'll be interested to see is if I'm a Century 21 agent and I have, 100 people in my sphere, and then one of those people in my sphere happens to see this turnkey situation and asks me about the $5,000 credit. And so now I have to give up 40% of my commission on someone who is already in my sphere in order for them to get that Amazon credit. Now that's going to cause some real rift there. I'll be interested to see how the Realogy people at the bottom of the chain react to this as the leads start coming in and it starts potentially cannibalizing their already internal sphere clients. So something to keep an eye on. Obviously then too, Amazon's now playing in the real estate space. So that's really, really concerning, I guess, to some people, right? To a certain extent. So something definitely to keep an eye on. And I think the fourth thing in the breakout sessions that everybody just kept parroting over and over and over again. And it's nothing really new. We've known this for a while. But video is bigger than ever. Facebook Lives, YouTube. I think a lot of people are neglecting YouTube because it's so hard to build such a devout following. But YouTube pre-roll ads, running ads like commercials before you're, in your farm and things like that are so valuable. And I think it's the most underutilized thing that people aren't, people know that they need to do video, but I think a lot of people just jump on video and then put it on Facebook or something like that. But YouTube pre-roll is something that's really, really underutilized. It's so cheap to get views especially in an area or neighborhood that you're already farming. So don't sleep on that.
And then lastly, special bonus. I just wrote the note here. It's not number 5 per se, but voice is also coming in strong. A lot of people really talked about flash briefings and podcasts, and just layering this type of stuff on. It's so easy to produce. I mean, you could theoretically, right now I'm filming this on the voice memos app in my iPhone. Like, it's nothing added on per se. And then I'm just going to run it through, a hosting service, and it'll be on iTunes by the end of the day. And so it's really that easy to put out actual good content via voice. And now with Amazon Alexa's inside every home, we all listen to podcasts in the car, stuff like that. I think it's really, really important to put out consistent content in voice channels, whether that be podcast or flash briefing, in order to stay relevant and stay top of mind with your sphere. It's just so easy and so cheap to get started, and everybody has something to say. And so a lot of people are really uncomfortable on video. Voice is the answer to that, whether it be a podcast or a flash briefing. And then you can just put it out. It's just content for days. So that's the bonus tip there. It's not number 5, but just make sure to pay attention to voice. So anyways, that's my Inman Connect Las Vegas 2019 recap. I did get a chance to talk on Thursday. I did a 15-minute solo presentation on using Instagram to grow your business and your following. I gave some tangible tactics, including my hack of the Instagram story swipe up ad. So hopefully Inman's going to get me that video soon. I'll be able to post that everywhere so people can check that out and watch it. But I hope all's well, and till the next time.